Okay, welcome back. Today what we're going to do is we are going to replace a jean zipper. If you can see this, you'll see that the zipper has actually broken partway down. This is not a case where I can actually just repair the zipper. If you saw my video the other day, you saw me take a zipper that had come completely apart and repair that one. This one actually needs to be replaced. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go up here to your waistband. And you're going to see stitching here. Your zipper is going to run up underneath the waistband. Now, typically when I'm working with jeans, I use a little bit bigger seam ripper, but since I have moved into this house and started doing all kinds of renovations, all my sewing gear has been put up, and I only get out a few things when I need it. So you're just going to go in here and you are going to clip every stitch, and then you will get to the point where you can run your seam ripper underneath that waistband. Now you have to be careful when you do this, because you don't want to cut the fabric. So you want to make sure that you are cutting the stitches. Trying to get it where you can see. Under here, you're going to get these stitches because you need to get this broke loose in order to be able to get this old zipper out. Now, once you get these stitches, and I'll take a few more out so I've got room to work, but once you get these stitches clipped, then you are going to go underneath and you are going to clip the stitches where your flies hold your zipper in. I'm going to take all this stitching out. And it really doesn't take that much time. Honestly, it almost takes me more time to get my machine out and get ready to start working than it does to actually replace the zippers. When I was doing this every day, I could replace a jean zipper in about 10 minutes. So don't fool yourself by saying that you don't have time to do this. It literally takes you longer to drink a cup of coffee than change a jean zipper. So, and you can all learn to do this if you want to save a little bit of money. Now, while I'm working on this, I did want to mention the young lady who brought these jeans to me. I told her this the other day because zippers can get very expensive. So anytime you have a pair of blue jeans or any other pair of pants that has a zipper in them, if they are worn to the point that you are not going to donate them, you are just going to pitch them, make sure to take the zippers out, because if it's still a good zipper, that can save you a fair amount of money. I just take the zippers out and I throw them in a baggie and throw them in my sewing storage. And then you can, if you have a zipper pop on you, then you can simply pull one of those old zippers out and replace them. No need to run after zippers or anything else. Now, the zipper I got for this one, I had to get it at local retail because since I'm not doing this anymore, I do not have the volume to order the really heavy duty zippers. This is a jean zipper, but it is not as heavy duty as the ones I used to put in when I was sewing on a regular basis. So that's one reason why I tell you save your zippers. These can get expensive. Now this one was actually only $1.79, and I really hope this one lasts for her, because 20 years ago when I was sewing, zippers were costing me $5 to $7 a piece, but they were about twice as heavy as this one. So that's what you want to do though. When you are buying a zipper, make sure you get one that's rated for jeans. If you are putting it in jeans, make sure it is a metal zipper. Any plastic zippers are not going to hold up in a pair of blue jeans. Also, if you're going to be doing a zipper replacement, make sure that you are getting a needle that is a heavy duty denim needle. They're either classified for jeans or they're going to be classified as a 116 is the size. You need a needle that will handle the heavy fabric. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and finish ripping this zipper out here. And once you get it, I've just about got this separated. So now you've got this separated, you are going to take this piece of fabric, the fabric on the back of the zipper that separates the zipper from your body. You're going to take it completely loose, clear up to the top. Then you are going to take this stitching out here and get all that loose. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, this is what you should have once you get all your stitches out. This is going to be free from this. All this stitching is gone, and this opens up. Okay, so now we are ready to put our zipper in. This is our jean rated zipper. Now, this is only a 6-inch opening. This zipper is actually longer than the opening, but that's okay, because once we get the zipper stitched in, it's going to, the top of the zipper will go up beyond the waistband a little bit. So we're just going to cut it off where it needs to be cut off after we get it stitched on. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come down here. Make sure that your tab is on top. So we're going to line up the zipper right where the opening is. With this side of the zipper along the edge of the fabric. And we are going to stitch that on. And because it's right on the edge, I generally go ahead and do a zigzag stitch so that I am stitching the zipper in place while also finishing the edge of the fabric. Because all that stitching had to come out before, because that's how it was originally put in. The zipper and the edge were stitched at the same time. That gives you a finished edge. And once you have that stitching taken care of, trim your excess strings off. Then we are going to be stitching this front of the jeans to the zipper. Now we want to make sure that we do not put this fold right against the zipper teeth, because if you do, your zipper is going to get stuck on that fabric, and that's not a good situation to have. Okay, so we're going to pin it about 1/8 of an inch away from your zipper teeth, because you don't want that fabric in the way. Now, we are going to go back underneath the presser foot or your needle and get it right in where the original stitch line is. And make sure you take your zigzag function off if you've used a zigzag. Make sure that needle goes right down in that. It's almost like a little ridge that's there from the original stitching. I'm going to take my pin out so that that fabric lays flat the way it's supposed to, and just run right along where that original stitching was. And you can just take your time, slow enough that you are not weaving around. You're going to stitch clear down to the bottom. Back tack it. Okay, we've got our thread cut. Now we're going to look at this and unzip your zipper. Now this line right here, is where the waistband gets stitched back on. So our zipper doesn't have to be really much higher than the top of the pants fabric. So we're going to take our scissors, and I usually leave it just a tad bit longer than the fabric, and I cut between the metal teeth. Then that can be tucked up inside the waistband, just like that. Okay? Now we're ready to do the other side. So the other side, you put your seams together. We're going to zip up the zipper, and you are going to unfold this part. You are going to line these pieces up with the zipper going right on top of the original stitching. You can see where that zipper was originally stitched, and you want that right in here so that you have just about somewhere between 1/8 and 1/4 of an eighth and 1/4 of an inch past the original stitch line. And put a pin in it, measure up, right where it was originally. If you change where your zipper gets stitched in, you might change the sizing. So you want them to go right where they were to begin with. And normally I would not cut that top of that zipper off. I just wanted to show you how it was going to work. Normally I would not have cut the top of this side of the zipper off until I had this side stitched on. But I wanted to make it clear what that zipper was going to be doing. We're back under the presser foot. And we are going to stitch, actually, we're going to put our presser foot on the inside closest, and we're going to rethread our needle. Now, with your presser foot right up against the edge of the teeth, that should put you right at the original stitch line. So we're going to start stitching and back tack. And we're just going to stitch right along there. You can really measure that distance by running that presser foot right up against those teeth. It helps you stitch a really straight line. And I'm going to move this up. This is why you don't normally cut this off beforehand, because you can actually move your zipper up out of the way if you don't have a zipper foot. But I'm just going to have to be real careful that I don't pull that off the end. Otherwise, I gotta put the zipper back together. Okay. Now, once we've got the first row, we're going to clip our stitch or our extra thread. And we are going to do the second row of stitching. Now, this folds back under. And again, we're going to cut our zipper so it's just a little bit longer than the top of the pants. We're going to tuck these up inside the waistband. Make sure there's not excess old thread here. Okay, and again, we're going underneath the presser foot. Every once in a while, you have to maneuver the fabric just a little bit to get it past it's just almost the size of a needle where there's a hard spot, and you just kind of have to maneuver it around till you get through it. And then you're going to back tack. And there again, just be careful because you're going to be going right over the teeth of that zipper. Okay, see how we stitched? Let me trim this off. That's the end of the original thread I'm trimming off now. This is my thread. See how my stitches are right in the same spot the original stitches were in. And then trim it in the back. Okay, so now we've got our waistband stitched back on both sides. Now we're going to put the top stitching in. Now your top stitching is located clear over here. Your zipper's here. This is where your teeth are. The top stitching is over here. So we make sure that that is smooth. Everything is folded over exactly where it should be. And we're going to go right at the edge of the waistband. And we are putting our needle right in where the original stitching was. Make sure everything's flat and smooth. And we'll take a few stitches and we're going to back tack. And then we're going to go forward again, and we're just going to continue to stitch down that same line. I am so sorry my battery died and I had no idea until I was done stitching. What we did was, you saw me start to stitch this seam here, or this top stitching here. Then I went ahead and I stitched the second row of stitching here. The only thing we had to do after that was down here, just below your zipper, there's usually just about a finger's width worth of seam that's loose. So you just put your needle in, either the top or the bottom, and you stitch both of these bits of top stitching here to close that seam up. The only other thing we had to do to finish up is to copy the bar tacking that was originally there. It was here and it was here. Now, I try to mimic what they've done. Even if it looks a little irregular, I try to mimic that so that it looks the same and it also covers where the dye change is in the pants, because your jeans are made and then they are washed to give you the finish that you have. Now, inside, there's also a little bit of tacking here to kind of hold this down, and a little bit of tacking in here. What I do is I look at each pair of jeans that I'm working on, and I try to duplicate what was there, so that when somebody looks at the jeans, they don't notice that the zipper has really been touched. So I do that with stitch length, thread color. Now, you won't always get an exact color thread match, but you can come very close. And after the jeans are worn and washed, the thread kind of evens out a little bit. So sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Make sure if you go to buy thread that you're not using an orange thread on a pair of jeans that has been top stitched with an ivory or a white or, you know, a creamy color like that. There's a lot of different shades. I think I used to have about 5 different shades of jean thread. So this one isn't an exact match. The girl that owns these jeans doesn't really care. She just wants to be able to wear her jeans. So I took what I had and I did as close a color match as I can. If you're doing it for yourself, do what makes you happy. Thanks for stopping by and seeing me. This was an unplanned video, and I do apologize. The sun went down really fast, and I had no idea how badly it was affecting my video. So it is a little dark. I'm going to try to lighten it up and see if it's any easier to see. I think you can still tell what I was doing. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. If you need me to refilm that, I'll find another pair of jeans and do another video. I think you can tell what I was doing, but it's just one more thing in the life of somebody that's living frugally. And I'm sure you all understand. Thanks for stopping by. We'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.